Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Cupid TV again. Now on today's episode, we're going to be talking about exam tips. Let's get started. Number one exam tip is self-discipline. Be in the exam mood, basically. Cut down on social media, you cut down on watching TVs, you cut down on your sleep. Just generally, maybe a week to the exam, like you begin to condition your mind that, okay, it's about to get deep. Second step after that is to read. Exam period is a time to not procrastinate. To read books, you read statutes, you read textbook, but don't overread. You be selective about the textbook that will actually add value to you and not one that will make you even more confused than you started. Another tip is to know your breaking point. I cannot emphasize this enough. I know somebody's already there saying, me, no reach breaking point. I will read all this. You need to know your breaking point. Like everybody has a breaking point. It is better to allow yourself to rest because you could read so much and then on the exam day, your brain will take voluntary exit. Another basic tip is to know when to start again. Now you've been reading and then you got your breaking point and then you stopped. You should know when to start again. So you don't spend the whole day doing nothing and saying that because my brain stopped working or because that's my breaking point. No, that tip, eat well, drink enough milk. Now that is very valid. Fun fact, milk helps your brain. Drink enough water. You should never be dehydrated. Another tip, discuss with your friends. No man is an island. So no matter how intelligent you are, you'll have a clique or a friend or a study group where you could discuss. Sometimes speaking and reiterating what it is you think you know could help you know better and correct mistakes in places that you don't necessarily actually know. The next tip, make use of past questions. I've always felt like past questions make you feel, it could work in two ways though. You could see a past question and you feel like, oh, damn, I read my book. I know everything on that paper. And then you could also see a past question and you're like, Jesus Christ, what have I been doing? I haven't read. So that disparity is something I never really appreciated. I was never really a fan of past question. Not until one of my friends brought a past question. I think that was around my 300 level. And he pointed it out. And fine, let's see the past question. Lo and behold, of past questions, that was what they gave us as our actual question. Another tip, be mindful of the company you keep during exams. So know where you're headed. Keep friends that actually know where you're headed and are headed that way with you. Even if you feel like you don't want to let go of your friends. For exam period, at least let's go. Write your exam, come back and have fun. Another tip, sleep. Night class is not for everybody. Sleep. TDB is not for everybody. Sleep. At least 5 hours of sleep. Like the conventional time to sleep is 8 hours, right? So at least, let's say it's exam period, give yourself like 5 hours to sleep. So you need to understand your mind, and if your brain works better when you sleep. And when I mean sleep, I don't mean sleeping on a hard chair in a hall filled with more mosquitoes than people. No, I mean sleep on your bed comfortably. Night class can be anywhere. It can be in your room so far you are awake and reading. So another tip, identify possible questions. So now when you're reading, you're not just reading for reading's sake. Personally, when I read, I try to think in line with what the lecturer could actually say. Try answering those possible questions that you have identified. Another tip will be for you to plan in line with your timetable. So now planning in line with your timetable would be let's say you have in a week you have 2 courses to write in that particular week, maybe one on Tuesday and one on Thursday. Your exam timetable came out on Monday and then you were supposed to start writing your exam the next Monday. Now from that Monday you could start reading the course you have on Thursday so that you try your best to revise up to a certain point, maybe on Wednesday. Then Wednesday you can now start reading the course you were supposed to have on Tuesday. Do you know what happens? What happens is that you don't waste a lot of time from Monday reading, overreading, rereading the same work that you're supposed to have on Tuesday when you've not touched the work that you're supposed to have on Thursday. And Another one will identify your strengths and your weaknesses. Always know to identify your strengths and your weaknesses. So what are your strengths? Do you work better when you're tensed? Personally, I work better when I'm tense. So you know what I do? I try when we are like signing in or about to enter the hall, I'm always with my book because I'm at that moment I'm tensed. So because I know that I work better in tension, that whatever I read at that moment to assimilate, I try to, as much as possible, channel that tension into looking at something. I flip through my pages, anything. And believe you me, because I work better under tension, I remember everything I flipped through at that time. So it's something I would always do. Flip through my book before the exam starts. Now, you might be someone that doesn't work well under tension. So what you do is avoid tension. Try as much as possible to not let the tension get to you. Reiterate, go through it in your head, and just stay calm. Another trick I do basically, when I read with a gum in my mouth, because somehow I believe that if I'm reading with that gum, I wouldn't sleep. Secondly, when I enter the hall, I try as much as possible to buy the same flavored gum. Do you know why? Somehow I feel like as I chew that gum in the same reading I chewed it when I was reading, it just helps my mind flow, because it's more like a deja vu feeling at this point in time. So I could actually feel like, oh yeah, I know this. So the last thing would be to pray. You see when they say weapon fashioned against you, there are weapons fashioned against you. Take your daily dose of God, I beg go. Let me not fall sick, let me not go blank. Because anything you should be doing is to over pray. So yeah, that's it for the tips, examination tips you should know. Yeah, follow and like, share and subscribe for more.